Hello and welcome back to the Remembering Tuscola webcast. I'm David Porter. I've got a full house today. We've got Mike Carroll, we've got Bill Englehardt, we got Alan Michener, we got Bob Taylor, and Mike. We missed you last couple of weeks, so good to see you.
Well, I wasn't ready to come back, but the sponsors called me.
Well, you are under contract.
I know.
I haven't lit
They,
my
they said, "Get out of bed, big boy, and go kick it up."
Mhm.
I haven't lit my cigar yet. This is I found this cigar, and
Hey,
now recently Nate Esquerdo was in town, lives out in, I believe, Washington State, Washington or Oregon, I think it's Washington. But he was in town, and as you know, Nate's parents were Cuban immigrants. So I'm not saying that there's any connection between Nate's visit and this Cuban cigar. So, but these are, of course, if you're a journalist, you can go to Cuba and bring back $100 worth of cigars.
Yeah.
So I am a journalist, so that means this is not illegal, but still I'll do my patriotic duty and I will destroy this cigar, and you guys and all the people out in the public can witness as my American duty.
To destroy
I'm
this.
going to destroy this cigar. I'm going to light it on fire.
And
Dave,
dispose of it.
David, you're saying if you're a journalist, you can bring back two Cuban cigars?
Yeah, one if you're lucky. Yeah, yeah. I looked online. You can actually buy Cuban cigars online. They'll ship them to the U.S. I don't know how it works. I haven't done it, but I looked online and it's like, uh, yeah, I could do that, but they've got some cigars on there from Cuba, or 10 cigars, $1,500.
Yeah. About 100
Wow.
bucks a stick.
That's
Hmm.
wor- that's worse than my story about my latest cigarette purchase.
Yeah.
In Illinois, I just bought a carton of cigarettes, which I normally don't do, but they were $120 for a carton of 10 packs, making them break down to about 60 cents a piece.
Mitch, do you remember when you used to bum a cigarette and it didn't mean anything?
That's right. That's
You
right.
got a running tab.
Now you ask them to sign a note. If
That's
somebody
right.
you ask them to sign a note for it.
Yeah.
So,
Those days of bumming are over.
oh man, you're kidding. No kidding.
Yeah, I mean it's you can get them in Indiana and Missouri cheaper, and Illinois is a big state, but it's not so big that even if you live in the middle of it, you can't go to another state to get cigarettes, and
That's
then
right.
that's enough difference that it's worth the trip to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I usually have somebody coming through St. Louis area every so often, but this time I actually ran out. My son's not due for a couple more weeks, and when he comes, he can redo my stash. But yeah, that's really gotten nuts because I was paying what I'm paying about $50 for in Missouri is 120 in Tuscola.
Yeah.
And it's worse in Chicago. You get into the cities, it's really crazy.
Hi, Becky. Saw Becky walk through.
David, when they banned Habana cigars, we had to venture out, and there's some Dominican and Nicaraguans that are every bit as good as the Cubans. I think some are better.
Well, as with anything, I suppose it depends on what you get. A lot of the cigars that are not Cuban are Cuban seed. Um, so I don't know what it is about the Cuba that makes a cigar better. Um,
Communism.
well, some say it's that they work the ground with animals still, and so it doesn't compact the. I don't know. There are a lot of theories out there. Everyone's got an opinion,
I
But
got a good story to tell you. You mentioned something about mail order for
mhm.
Cuban cigars. My experience with mail ordering tobacco products, mainly cigarettes, I decided I was going to buy some online off an Indian reservation in New York. And so I did, and they came through, no problem. And then my credit card bill came through, and it showed that my credit card had been processed in Romania.
Mm.
Oh
And
my
I
gosh.
and I decided right then that's the end of that stuff. I'm not now. My credit card's all over the world.
Hmm.
Somebody's going to get that.
Yeah,
I
'cause
never had any problems, but I just thought, boy, there's a good reason not to do that.
I don't smoke cigarettes, but I didn't know there was even a way you could order cigarettes online.
Well, this has been a while back. I don't know if you still can or not, because the way the law reads, you're still responsible for the tax in the state
Right.
that you're using them in. So, and I'm sure that everybody's putting that on their tax return. I know they are. Anybody that's
Yeah.
bootlegging,
Yeah.
I'm sure they're turning that tax in.
Right. I'm sure.
Hey, Mitch, you ought to do what David does and go on these auction sites and buy up 50 cartons of cigarettes.
Let's see, I
cigar.
don't think.
David buys about one half price to one fourth price.
Yeah, yeah, that's right.
Well, yeah, some of them might get as much as 90% off, but I don't think you can do that with cigarettes.
I don't know. I don't
I,
know.
of
I
course,
always
I haven't looked too hard because I don't smoke cigarettes, but
yeah. Well,
um,
I've smoked them for too long, and I don't know. I keep thinking maybe this might put me over the edge, but I don't know. Everybody says, "Well, look at all the money you would save," and I said, "Yeah, but what the hell would I do with it?"
Yeah.
well, that's like with cigars. My
What do you
wife,
think about Bob never smoked, and there's Mitch.
No.
Stack, and Bob had the quadruple, and Alan had the quadruple, two non-smokers. Do you think that science is all wrong, Mitch?
I think it could be. I had a visit with a PA one time about that, and she said, "I think it's all genetic." She said, "My parents both smoked. My mom died at 70, and my dad lived to be 94." And I can attest to the cigars being good for you because my granddad smoked cigars, and he only lived to be 94. So I think that cigars are the answer.
well, my doctor told me there's no credible study that shows cigars are dangerous to your health. And in fact, my life insurance rates me as a non-smoker because I only smoke cigars.
Plus, Dave,
Well,
you and Jim Boyles pushed the theory that cigars killed the COVID vaccine.
yeah, that's
Well,
right. Yeah, I remember Boyle saying that.
but my dad is 89 years old and smoked for 70 years. And he did stop smoking during the pandemic. And we think it's because he couldn't get out. He didn't want to ask anyone to get him for him.
Yep, yep.
So he just
It could
quit
be.
cold turkey.
That's a good reason. That's a good
Yeah.
reason.
Yeah.
And don't forget pipe smoking. We got an expert in the crowd, pipe smoker.
Well, that's true. That's true.
Gave it up a long time ago.
Captain
Did you
Black.
really?
Oh yeah.
Captain Black.
I gave it up. I treated myself to a couple of new golf clubs as I remember. It was something to do with golf. I said I could save that money.
Yep.
Spend it on golf.
Sure.
Well, and that's like I started to say earlier. My wife, she doesn't mind my cigars. She says, you don't play golf, you don't have a motorcycle, you don't have a boat, you
Don't have a girlfriend?
I don't have a girlfriend on the side. I don't,
It's not like you don't have a life.
no, I got life. I got you guys
There you go.
Yeah, that's right.
I
That's
said you
true.
don't have a life.
and my cigars.
Well,
So it's the only thing I really spend money on. That and I do like a ski soda. And they're hard to.
those
Snooks,
hard to come by, aren't they?
Snooks is carrying them now up in Champaign.
Wow.
And I think you can get them at Paulie's Barbecue. They've got them on the menu.
Oh,
But yeah, they're hard to find around here, and you can go to Breeze, Illinois, where they're made, and buy it for half the price that you can in the store. So I need to make
I
a
thought-
trip down to Breeze.
I bet that place up at Homer, didn't they have all those different sodas? I bet they have it too.
Huh. I'll have to check that out. In Homer.
Yeah, used to be up there. I remember having somebody come from down there that spoke at Rotary one day, and they gave us all these free samples and of the different ones out of earlier times.
Well, for Bill and I, it was always knee high.
Knee high.
Knee
How
high
about
grape.
Chocola? How about Chocola?
We love Yoo-Hoo down at Francis Duensing Standard.
Yep. We all drank that.
Mainline Yoo-Hoo.
Yep.
Bill,
Great bet at OB
Great bet.
Smith's.
Great bet was good.
Weren't you a knee-high fan, Bill? Out of DeKalb, that's all DeKalb carried out there.
DeKalb, yeah, but any of that grape drink was good, I thought, by the bottlers.
Yeah.
But I remember distinctly going to OB Smith's, and it had a lift lid, and you'd slide the bottle across.
Yep.
Pull it out, and it was Great Bet.
Yep.
Boy, it was good.
And it's all better in a glass bottle, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I don't think I've ever tasted anything out of a can that I thought was as good as it was. In fact, that's why I spend so much on ski sodas, because I only buy it in the bottles. It tastes completely different in a can.
Yeah.
When we were young kids in grade school, they gave us for a nickel milk in a glass bottle, and milk tastes best out of a glass bottle too, I think.
Better than those cardboard cartons.
Paraffin, yeah.
Yeah.
Remember the nickel milk we used to get in third?
Hell, I remember it as 2 cents.
What was it? Oh, well, they gave you, your mom was a teacher. You got
Yeah. No, I remember this was in high school, because that's one of the greatest things I remember. I had 2 cents in my pocket to get a milk at lunch, and I looked at the 1 penny and I thought, well, that's weird. And about 5 years later, I realized what I had was a double stamped 1955 penny, which was quite valuable, and I put it in a milk machine for 2 cents.
Well, anything else going on? Or are you ready for pictures?
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
we're gonna. You mentioned about penny candy stuff. I think we're gonna see a picture. Well, maybe it wasn't in yours. Maybe it was in Roberta's. No, it's going to be in here. I think picture of a little place that we used to have. We used to buy a lot of penny candy at. So
Yeah, my sister's been posting a lot of pictures too, and she's getting them from the same place I am. And the
Bill?
thing is, she told me, she said, "Well, if you don't want me to post them, I won't." And I said, "No." I said, "There's tens of thousands of negatives, and I'm never going to get to them all on my own."
that's right. That's true.
So,
Hey, Bill, should you and I eventually get on Facebook to keep up with these guys or not? Are we better off just not?
You've missed some good ones that Roberta put on.
You missed some good ones if you're
Well,
not getting some of them. Yeah.
We've never been on Facebook in our life.
yeah, I thought I might go through some of hers and make a show with some of her pictures that she's put on.
That'd be all right. We can do that.
So yeah, she's had some good ones. So, all right, let's see what we've got going on here. A lot of our pictures this week are actually not Tuscola, but they're close enough.
Yeah.
And that's the coal mines, Murdoch.
That's Murdoch coal mine.
I guess it is. Yeah. Yeah. I didn't realize where that was. I didn't know any of those guys.
Who's the guy on the right with the dark pants and jacket?
Well, I wondered if he was a politician. He's in some of the other pictures, or maybe
You know, he looks familiar.
Yeah. Supervisor of some, maybe he's just supervisor, isn't he?
could be. We'll see some other pictures of him. We'll see if anyone has. I don't know that anyone has identified him, but there might be one in there with him identified, because it's the way they're standing, the way he's standing, makes me think he's visiting. I mean, those shoes don't look like they're
Those aren't coal mine shoes.
those aren't work boots.
No.
No.
Could be.
Looks like they maybe put put a jacket on him, try to keep his shirt clean.
Keep his white shirt clean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now this looks like Cabot.
Yeah, it is.
That's Jerry Christ in the center.
That's right.
You're right.
And that's who'd you say? Mark
Carey.
Carey on the left.
Yeah, it is Mark.
And Steve Howard.
Steve Howard on the right. I didn't know who that was.
I don't know him. I think Mark eventually ended up at USI, didn't he?
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah, because I remember he worked with Don Chappell out there.
Jerry Christ's big brother was Phil Christ, class
Yeah.
of
Been gone a long
65.
time now. Died young.
Well, I've got some cousins named Howard, and he looks like he could be related. I got some cousins. I can't name them all.
The guy on the right here, can't remember his first name, but his last name was Henning. And his wife ran that Herring, not Henning, Herring. Diane Herring. She had Diane's Playhouse, bought the old Presbyterian church. That was him. He worked at Cabot for quite a number of years.
Okay.
Gary Henning, I think. Gary Herring. Yeah.
Herring, yeah.
Gary, I think his first name might have been Gary. The other guy I didn't know.
Yeah, I don't know either.
I didn't know either one of those. That's back to the coal mine, isn't it?
Yeah, back to the coal mine. There's the same guy again, shaking hands. He's probably running
Yeah.
for office.
Yeah.
Oh, they're gonna fit him with a helmet here, and
It's Bill. It's Bill
Yeah.
Cook. That's Glenda's dad.
Who
Bill Cook, Glenda Cook's dad.
on the right?
Yeah,
You would know, Mike.
I would know. He's going to send me to reform school in the 8th grade.
Yeah.
I'm just surprised you ever saw his face. You were always running from it.
No, Caldwell and Bailey and I in the 8th grade were yelling stuff in the alley, and he came out in a t-shirt and undershorts and chased us down to the South Ward. We climbed up on that, that Quonset hut connected to the school on South Ward with a little roof. We were up on the roof shaking, and he walked up and said he could send us all to a reform school. Of course, Caldwell was dumb enough to go along with Bailey and I. Joe. And isn't that Bill Cook?
Well, it could be. It could be.
A long time.
I don't know what year this is, but
Well, he was I'm pretty sure he was a coal miner.
Oh yeah,
He was originally, and then he ended up at Four Seasons, didn't he?
Yeah.
His wife went there first, and then Bill went there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
my dad was probably working here at the time, but I don't see any pictures of him. I went in the mine in 80, I want to say 84. So I've got some good pictures, and some of those have my dad in them.
Yeah.
But we do have some underground pictures coming up.
Bob and I looked at that picture a while ago. I'm thinking that's where Lyle Johns lives. And that was maybe the original house built by, who'd you say, Russ
Crossman,
yeah. I mainly because of the trees is what's making me think that.
Huh.
What's your guys' opinion?
could be.
It's a definite.
The house has changed
Mhm.
over the years, but that might have been the original house, and it's out there on the Filson Road.
We had several pictures of houses this week, and I know we like to look at houses, and some of them I thought were maybe the start of a subdivision, but this one looks like it's more like out in the country. So
Yeah.
there's another one that looks like a subdivision house, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. But I can't figure out. I couldn't figure out where it was. And you've got a reversal, I think, of that same house. But I still,
could be.
it looks like looks like a field in the back of it. So, I don't know.
I think those are all out there by the John's house. These are to the west, or this one is to the west. And it looks like one that at one time, years ago, Ann Lampke lived in.
Boy,
Yeah,
I
some of
don't
the
know.
negatives are flipped. Sometimes it's hard to tell which way is they're supposed to go, and so that happens sometimes.
Joe Wills lived out there in one of those houses too.
Yes, he lived in the one next to
Well,
Crossman.
Ned Ferguson lived out there too. So you had the first house was Crossman's, and then the next one was where Ned Ferguson lived, and then I don't know. Joe was about the fourth house, I think.
Well, I wondered if maybe Northgate, because Northgate has that road that goes back, and unless you live back there, you never drive down it.
Right.
There's an underground picture.
Yeah.
Now, John Holland says he thinks the guy to the left is Charlie Van Sickle.
From Newman.
Well, I thought originally, I told Bob I thought it was Bobby Reed, but it's too heavy for Bobby Reed.
Yes, it is.
And someone asked John if that was his dad, and he says no, but it does favor him. But it doesn't say who the other guy is, but I'm still thinking politician.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
you're
I
right.
think you're right, Dave.
And he says John says there's when Dan Crane visited, there was a picture in the newspaper and funny story with that, but that's not Dan Crane.
No.
No comment on this one, but but you get a peek of the inside of the coal mine.
Yep.
Here you can see roof bolts up here at the top, where they
Yeah.
have a machine drive those long bolts into the roof to keep it from falling.
Not a fun job.
No, there he is again. Maybe Daryl Ferris will come on and tell us who that is. Politician, he would probably know.
It's not Virgil Wyckoff, is it?
It could be.
Yeah.
Boy, it'd have to be
Yeah.
it might be a young picture of him because I don't remember him at that stage.
Well, it was back in the 70s when I was state attorney. I met him in the 80s.
Yeah.
Working on the mall. He's pretty good to Tuscola. He and
Yes, he was.
he and Stan Weaver really helped us.
Yeah.
That's the Ligas.
That's got to be one of right after it was built.
Right.
Yes.
So that had to be about 73 or 74.
Gordon Adams built that. Didn't Gordon Adams build that, Mitch?
Lakes
Lake.
built it up.
That's when Dick and Cale were still working together as Lake Construction.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that was the last project they did together, and then later they switched and had their own companies.
Okay.
So was Gordon working for them at the time?
Probably.
Because I know he worked for them at one time.
Well, that building was just being completed when I moved back to town in 73, in August of 73. So that's probably about the right time frame.
It was pretty fancy at the time.
Yes,
I
it
remember
was.
Mary Liga. I remember being in grade school with her at Northward, so that would had to have been let's see. Trying to think of when I went to East Prairie, probably 75, 76 year.
Mary and Tony.
Yeah.
Tony looked pretty young there. Boy, that one.
That's
Were in
the son-in-law, isn't it?
who?
Remember Tony's son-in-law came down from Chicago,
Uh,
married one of the daughters.
Boy, I don't know. That looks like that's taken at the review office.
It is at the review office. You recognize the elephant and the bookshelf
And the paneling.
and the paneling. Of course, the paneling's still there. That bookshelf's probably still there too.
But I do not recognize the guy.
I didn't get them posted till last night, early this morning. Now this, I think, is Atwood Hammond.
Yeah, that's what it says on the shirts.
Mm-hmm. So I don't know why we had pictures from Atwood Hammond, but a lot of times the paper would cover all over the county. But I don't think we're going to know any of them. Is that same house?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the same one.
Just a different,
But it's a reversal of that same
Right.
house. So
right.
I remember a house that looked that young Jack Donalds used to live in up in Northgate, but it wouldn't be that house because it's on the wrong side with the field behind it. That house sat on the south side of the Northgate Street, and so the back of it would have been North Line Road and all that area. So I don't think that's
Yeah.
the same house, but I think maybe Bill was probably right. I bet those houses are all out there at where Lyle Johns and those houses out there on Filson Road. I bet money that's where those were all from.
Isn't that funny now that you go out there just to the south of those houses? They're building several new homes out there.
Oh,
Yes,
yes.
there are. Yes, they are.
Cunningham's.
Yeah, we all knew that. Yeah. Eli Murphy. When that
Yeah.
originally, no, that was
No,
Bill
Eli was
McCarty's.
next to McCarty's.
McCarty's
Yeah.
house was the Eli Murphy house. I don't know who lived there before Cunningham.
They built about four of those in town. Bill Carson
Yeah.
lived in one of them. There's about four of that arts and crafts style.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that.
Is that a carriage house in the back?
Yeah.
Basketball hoop used to be on there.
Yeah.
Well, I think that the older man at the top is who did we just say?
Charlie Hartman.
Charlie Hartman. And the guy next to me, the younger man next to him, all I can remember is I think he worked at the grain elevator and his first name was Rich something.
Charlie Hartman, by the way, was, I believe, Jim Bailey's uncle. I think Jim's
Correct.
mom.
Was.
Hartman.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
was the brother to Jim's mom.
But I think they were probably on the Tuscola co-op at that time, and maybe the co-op bought that calf at a 4-H sale or something.
Yeah.
Huh.
That's Randy Rothrock.
Yeah.
Looks like Terry Kelsey, my cousin.
Well, I think Kevin Monahan has that same hat.
Go back one, please.
You recognize
that-
somebody?
Well, maybe the official between 77 and number 67. Yeah, maybe not either.
What year is this,
No.
Dave? Is this about 82 or 3?
I don't know
That's
what year. it is.
Beto 99.
Yeah.
That's why I was wondering if Bates Jr. year.
Bates.
Bates Jr. year is 83.
I would say it's probably earlier than that. Some of these other pictures are from the 70s. These are all out of the same envelope.
No,
And
they've got big face guards. We used to just have a kind of leather hat, a little bitty twig across our face.
Who in the world is 77? And that guy is big.
he is. Can't tell.
Would that have been about the time John Wilson, Eddie's boy, was playing?
I don't know when Eddie's boy played.
John Wilson was in my class.
He was in your class? Okay.
No,
Well,
no,
Steve's
Jeff was in my
here.
class. John's older, but yeah, John's a big guy.
Yeah.
Could be John Murray.
What year did Vangle come to town?
Well, Bengals there when my oldest was a freshman.
He was there when
Okay.
I was in school.
And he
Well,
would have been a freshman in about 89.
Well,
He was there in the 80s, I'd say,
I was
81.
there. I mean,
Yeah,
I
'cause-
played freshman football, which would have been 79.
we started junior football in 84 and he was here because he helped us.
Yeah, so he was here in 79 because he was not my coach, but he was out there.
Who's the one that came after Bengal?
Vienna's.
Bienis. No, I'm wrong. When Scott was a freshman, Bienis had just started in 89. So Bengal would have been here prior to that.
I remember he was there because I was running back to the group, and he hit me on the top of the head and knocked me on my butt and told me if I ever do that again, I'll never play football for him. But he never told me what I did, so I have no idea. And
Smoking cigars.
and I thought, you know what? I'm never going to play football for you anyway, because I'm not going to be hit by a coach and knocked on my butt.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Strake quit in the 70s, I think, 70s. Did Murray coach for a couple of years, Bill? Do you remember? Football?
Murray coached football in the late 60s. He coached right after Bukovich. And so the 65 team was Murray's first team, which was Beatty, Skinner, John Laster. He had Richard Lindsay. He had a good team.
65, 66, yeah.
Yeah.
We were Buccos last year. Bob and I played for Bucco.
I fear if I want to be knocked on the butt, I'll go home. I got parents that'd be happy to do that for me.
Well, that's what coaches did back in those days.
I would venture to say that 77 almost looked like somebody like John Murray.
Well, that Murray was 81, 2, 3.
John Murray in my class would have been class of 83. In fact, he was in town a couple weeks ago.
I think he played as a sophomore, maybe even as a freshman. I'm not sure.
Don't see him very often.
No.
Do you see the old the Gene Murray house was up for sale again?
Yeah, I saw
Mhm.
that.
175. Yeah, that's
So I'm guessing this is about the time Vango came to town, because we got a picture of Vango coming up.
well, Bengal coached that 83, 82.
You know what? If you back that picture up again to that other one, if that be John Murray with 67, that looks like Chunk to me.
It does look like Chuck.
Like who?
Chunk
Chuck
Campbell.
Campbell.
That's the late 70s. That 77 could be the Weimer kid.
Oh, Tom?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a
Yeah.
big football
Could
player.
be Tom,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
He was a big kid, yeah.
He was a big guy. Yeah, this is going to be. Let's say
Somebody ought to. You didn't get any responses on this or whatever?
No, but the way
No
the
feedback?
way the negatives are filed at the newspaper office, these are in these envelopes, and they changed to a different system in '82 when Eric Hastings started doing it. So any of these that are in these envelopes are older than '82.
Hmm.
And I can tell you Vangel was there in '79. So this is this is no older than '79. Could be '78,
I
77.
came from Arcola in '79. So what I'm saying is, in '79, when I came, I know who a couple of the girls were that were seniors, Beth Pugh and Tammy Fortney. That's also Chuck Campbell in that same class.
Yeah, yeah. I think Chunk was a senior when I was a freshman. Now, Michener, didn't you say something recently about Bill Anderson when he came to town? We talked about how, and I said they played. I remember going and watching them play softball out of the Irvin Park.
Yeah. Well, we were talking about Bill Anderson. I knew Bill Anderson from Arcola too, but that Bill Anderson that we were talking about was a friend of that Art Kimball's.
Right, Art Kimball.
Yeah, and so maybe he had come to town or something, and they're playing some kind of a charity ball game of some kind.
Yeah, there you got Bill Anderson's Poe girls, and they're in the back, the Poe boys.
You're right.
That's what he called his band.
Yeah,
The Po
so
Boys. Yeah.
right. So this was the only negative from that game. I would have thought there'd have been a lot more, but I remember going to that game. I don't remember how old I was, but I remember going.
Going back to the football, Vangel was here, started in 1978, and he was here through the 85-86 school year.
All right, so these are probably '78 photos because there he is right there.
Yeah.
Thing.
I think I just skipped a picture.
That looks like Weimer. Yeah, I don't.
I think that probably is down in Casey.
Crazy, yeah. Crazy Casey. Casey beat us in that quarterfinal game overtime, remember? Tuscola.
Yeah.
This is John Murray senior year. We should have won. Bengal taught him how to hit and tackle, I'll tell you that.
How long before Tuscola ends up having to co-op in football?
25, 25 years. That's Bengal's wife.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now it's Diane
And it's
And
the
Allison, what's the little boy's name?
Lance.
Lance. I could not think of it.
Oh, he was a dandy.
Yeah, Allison.
I had Lance in school. Allison.
And Diane, right?
Yes, Diane.
This is why
Lance.
I thought that these pictures were probably the year Vance or Vangel came to town, because that would be why the newspaper would have a picture of his family.
Yeah. Well, we know the location, which has to be in front of the Hillegaw Schrader Funeral Home.
That has to be the Labor Day telethon.
It's like Mulligan over to the right.
It is.
Yeah.
And
Albert Teeters,
Yeah.
third person from the right is Albert Teeters.
Gerald Ford standing up.
Yeah, I think so.
Here we got a lot of hair.
Marcy
Well,
says,
if it's not Daryl, it's somebody else like him. Can't really hard to. That's a long time ago.
Marcy says Mindy Mulligan, front right. This from another picture. This is probably Chris Hill right here, under the.
He was mayor at the time, I think.
Yeah.
Wonder if the guy in the coveralls is Mike Payne.
I was gonna say it
Possibly.
looks like Mike Payne from the back, doesn't it?
I know that's not Gene Waters, but it looks like Gene Waters. She was
Yeah.
sunglasses. I know it's too young for Gene.
Well, speaking of Gene, the second guy from the right looks a little like Gene Wiggle, maybe.
No, I don't
No?
think so. Yeah, I think you're right, Bill. It looks like zero in on the guy standing up again. Daryl Ford. I think it is. It smiles like Daryl.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think that's Daryl. I agree.
I don't remember all that hair.
Well, this is the same event. Yeah, that
Tom
looks like
Stewart with his hands on his hips, and that
Yeah,
is
that's
Mike
Tom
Payne in the
Stewart.
sunglasses.
Mike Payne behind him.
Yeah.
Dowd's in the got the cap or whatever,
Yep.
holding it out.
Doc Smith at the very back with Mayor Hill.
Yep.
Is that Jerry Hall over? No, that's Mulligan again, I think.
Hey, look
Oh,
at that. They're just building the bank, aren't they?
Yeah, that's right.
Huh.
I think you're right. I think that was Jerry Hall. Back to your right a little bit, where the right beside their kids.
Is that Butch McCullough?
No, they said that was Wayne Dowd. They thought.
No, Wayne's over here on the other side.
Oh, okay. I still think that. Well, I don't know. Maybe that's too old a picture for Jerry to be
Yeah,
in.
no, that's
yeah.
because there's Mendy.
Okay.
Yeah. See, there's Dowd.
Oh yeah.
This is back to the coal mine. This I remember this because I had a similar picture. This is the shower room, and they would hang their clothes up on chains and hoist them to the ceiling. I don't know what the purpose is. Maybe a space saver. Maybe if they're wet, they would dry out in the shower room. I don't know. But you can see the helmets and um, or maybe a little bit of security thing. People can't be rifling through them, or I don't know.
Yeah.
But it was a weird looking thing when you walk in and see all that hanging up there.
Yeah.
Oops.
Is that? No, it isn't. Brucey Weatherford, but it's not.
No.
No.
Yeah,
Don't
don't
catch
have
it.
any comments on that one.
Blow it up a little bit.
I do have some names on this one.
Okay, because I sure don't recognize him.
Mark Payne says Denise Kuhn, far left, Kathleen Kleiss, center, Chris Wall, Teresa question mark, far right, and Tracy Maxey in front.
Nope.
Kendra Eskridge says Ann Wineland Carter.
Yeah, I didn't know any of those.
After my time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Gary Campbell's wife there in the middle. Kathleen Kleiss.
Mm-hmm.
Moved to Indianapolis where their daughter is.
And I have some names on this one.
Dave, this is getting up close to your class.
A little earlier. Kendra Eskridge says Andrea Harsha on top, Tina Romine in front. Marty Chris tagged Linda Scribner. Andrea Harsha says Amy Clark, Tina these are tags. I don't know if these are in the picture or tags. Amy Clark, Tina Romine, Linda Pancall Scribner, Deanne Bates, says our freshman year.
DNB's right there.
Yeah, I think that's screwed in there, isn't it?
Mhm.
Or maybe.
The one in the middle, the girl in the middle is DN Bates, I'm sure.
So this would have been, yeah, I was probably in 8th grade during this picture. And that's it.
That's it. Wow.
Okay.
Whoa.
That's it for this week.
Got that done pretty quick.
Well, it didn't have quite as many pictures, and there are a lot of them we didn't have names on, and
Yeah.
so those go a little faster.
Yeah.
Bob, what do you think about that Arcola situation?
I think that's a bad deal. Um, you know, it's going to be a two-year deal. That's what the IHSA requires.
Right.
But can you imagine Bimet and Cerro Gordo have to provide the transportation to Arcola and back every day for practice? I don't know how they're going to do the games, especially when they're away. You know, it's a mess.
Bill,
It's an absolute mess.
Bob, I agree with you thinking of that long drive from Cerro to Arcola, but on the other hand, the other option is the kids just don't get to play football.
I know it, Mike. I know it. And you know,
Some of the good ones are willing to do that just to play.
right now, obviously the closest school for them would have been Monticello, but Monticello has no need for them, nor would they want them. The other possibly could be Argenta.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Arcola's a long way. That's a long distance.
Oh,
It is. And the thing is, if you can support a team on your own, you don't want to bring another town in.
That's exactly right, David.
So there are closer towns, but those towns can sustain their own, and they don't want to take it on.
Here's the other thing. So Arcola had 12 or 14 kids show up consistently during the summer. And now you bring in 8 or 10 kids from Cerro Gordo and Bimet. And I think that's all they've got that can provide any help. If those kids, and I'm surmising here, if those kids start playing in front of the Arcola kids, then you're going to have future Arcola kids that probably say, you know, to heck with it. If I'm not going to get play for my own school, then I'm not going out.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. See what happens.
You're forced into bad Sophie's choice, you know. You're forced.
It is, Mike. Yeah, it really is.
Bill, what's Tuscola football like? Bill, have you heard the latest on the freshman sophomore turnout? Are we getting kids coming out like they used to, or is it down a little bit?
We've got 42, Mike, total.
Mm-hmm.
No freshman schedule this year, and probably won't be next year, just because there are no freshman boys to speak of.
So are we at risk of the same thing or not?
I think those 2 years will be the worst. But we had a big senior class last year, followed by, I think, 8 or 9 freshmen. So we immediately lost about 10 kids. And then there are some that have chosen not to play this year.
Well, the sophomore class was pretty good. You had some players.
Yeah. And there's some sophomores that aren't going to play.
Right.
They still want to play football, or they just want to run cross country or do something else?
Well, I don't know. I've heard some of them are going to play golf because Bill's coaching.
Well, that's what I heard. He won't hit you or make you run hall laps. I heard that's why they want to play golf.
Just wind sprints.
Well, oh boy, that'll help for putting.
Up and down the mounds.
That'll
But, I really think there are several kids that are going to run cross country.
There are.
I mean, who would ever think?
I think we have 3 football players that are playing golf for sure, and one of those, I suspicion, would have started.
Yes.
So
Who would ever think Tuscola would be known for cross country and track?
I know. You're right. You're right.
Back in our day, we only went out for track because Murray told us we had to.
Yeah.
Nobody argued with Gene.
Well, we've had some really good runners over the years, and recent years especially. But we showed the picture. We've got it right here from
Right outs.
yeah. I'm gonna knock
You know,
it over.
Yeah, in recent years, not only have we had quality, but we've had quantity.
Yeah.
They said Robert Hanners was great, and then Burke was a All-American at Eastern in cross country, I think. What was his name? Bill Kevin or the runner?
Kenny,
Kevin Burke.
wasn't it?
Oh,
Was
Kenny.
it Kenny Burke?
I don't know.
Kenny Burke was the runner.
Yeah.
He wound up
He
being
went to Eastern. He
Yeah.
ran at Eastern.
All-American.
Hey, Tyler Carter ran at Eastern.
Oh, yeah, heck yes.
Should we put that picture in?
Austin Hogue threw the javelin at Eastern.
They throw the discus.
We've had good athletes,
Yeah.
over the years, and these other schools used to have good athletes too. And but you would never, ever, I would have bet $1,000 that you would never see Arcola in this situation. Although,
No.
in talking to Randy, by text message this week, Randy said they could see this coming. A couple of years ago, they knew it was coming, and so that's dependent upon that class.
Right.
What you're talking about, Bob, where the
Sure.
Well, they've got no
Freshman.
JFL this year either.
By the way, Bob, this freshman group, as you know, baseball wise, is going to be good.
Oh, absolutely they are. Yes.
Well, the Arcola School Board was trying to get soccer, and they've always voted it down. It'd probably be wildly popular, but they thought it would kill the football program.
Right.
It's not like it's being killed anyway.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, they can play independent soccer, and
Sure.
they can go.
Remember back at the coal mine pictures, and we thought maybe that was Virgil Wyckoff.
Yeah.
Here's a picture of him.
Oh, we can't see it, Bob. Got to get in front of the camera.
Well,
There's your camera
there's
up
the
here.
camera up here. Can you
Yeah,
see it
move
now?
Move it a little more
Here,
to.
let's see if I
Toward
can.
Mitch. Move it toward Mitch.
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh, there we go.
There you go.
Oh yeah, that's him.
Yeah, looks like him.
Yeah.
Yep. Hope he got his shoes polished.
Bob by the way, Bob was best friends with Virgil and Stan Weaver. He was our political connection. Of course, he ran the newspaper,
Talking about Bob Hastings.
Bob Hastings, so he should be
Mhm.
politically wired, but he was really close friends with. He has a lot of stories about Virgil and Stan.
Well, I know that, and I've told that story before. I applied for a General Assembly scholarship and, with Stan Weaver. I hadn't heard back. And I'm sitting with Bob in his office, senior in high school, and he's asking me about my college plans. So I told him I didn't know if I was going to get to go to college. I hadn't heard back on my scholarship with Stan Weaver. And he picks up the phone, dials a number by heart, didn't have to look it up, and says to stand there and talked to Stan Weaver for about 40 seconds, hung up the phone and said, "You got your scholarship."
Doesn't hurt to know someone.
Yeah.
Well,
There should be some indictments there.
yeah. Should I have turned that down? From
Ethically, I thought ethically you would. Dave, I know. The
Mhm.
guy that smokes illegal Cuban cigars would have turned that down.
I'm not smoking this cigar. I'm destroying it.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm
I'm
sorry.
just keeping the fire lit is all I'm doing, Mike.
I know.
You have to. You have to.
I feel warm. Every time you suck in, I just feel my temperature go up.
You just got to keep that fire going. And
The older you get, the harder it becomes. So keep them lit.
it's just my civic duty, Mike. That's what I'm doing.
So
Hey, now, with you guys all being Tuscola graduates, I can safely announce now that isn't this wonderful? Trump's set to revive the presidential fitness test in our schools now. Wasn't that fun?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I don't remember a fitness test.
Oh yeah.
Huh?
You had to do,
Yeah.
was it a 6 minute mile? I think you had to run a 6 minute mile.
I don't know.
Well, I remember I was in the Army. We were in the federal building in Springfield. And Major Berg did the same thing about we're going to do a fitness test. And we said, well, you're going to do it also, aren't you? He said, I guess. And so he was at the dead end of the pack, couldn't even breathe. I don't, I never took a fitness test, I don't think. Did you?
I think we did.
Oh, we did.
But now, are you talking about in school, Mike, or in the Army?
I thought no, in school, I thought just if you played sports. I don't remember if you played sports.
Well, when we were in school, if you played sports, you didn't have to take PE.
I want to tell you, I was on the balcony when they did that PT test, and if you could only do certain things, that's all you could do, but you could get a score. And I saw Rudd Callahan get on the parallel bars to do bar dips, and they had to tell him to stop.
Yeah. Yeah.
He exceeded the
I can
maximum.
believe that.
Rudd was waist up. He was a He-Man. Is Rudd
Yeah.
died, didn't he, guys?
I don't know.
I have lost track of Rudd.
Yeah.
Linda in your class, Bill, and there was
Yeah, Linda's in my class, and when Bob or Al was talking about Bill Anderson,
He was
wasn't
married. She was.
Linda?
Yeah, they were married. They were married. In fact, I think they had children together, but then they later divorced.
Yeah.
But I don't know about either one of them. I will going to tell you a story about another one though. One of our former classmates of Bob's and mine and Mike's was Ray Wilson.
Oh yeah,
Ramblin' Ray.
And we got a note from Linda about this up and coming reunion that Ray was not going to be able to attend.
Oh.
That he pretty well now about all he did to get out was to go to doctor's appointments and things like that. But Ray's got to be 80 years old.
he
might have been a year or 2 years older than us, but up until not very long ago, he was still doing pretty doggone good.
He had kids, didn't he? Didn't Linda say he had?
Yeah, he had children, and he even had a second marriage. His wife died just 4 or 5 years ago. Pardon?
Nothing wrong with that, Mitch.
Yeah. Well, no, but I mean, his wife died 4 or 5 years ago, so it hadn't been very long ago that he got remarried again. And
Ray Wilson, as far as I remember, was the only kid that could say a nasty word and Gene Murray wouldn't correct him. He just let Ray talk.
I think.
Well, I tell you the thing. I don't think I've ever met anybody in my life that had a better personality than what that kid did. I mean, his had such a positive attitude, and he had so many problems. I mean, I always thought he was a great guy. I really
And he did have a good-looking sister too.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
What? I'll tell you, she became even more good looking after we saw her at the 50-year reunion. She looked like Linda Evans from Dallas. She's beautiful.
Well, I don't know about that. That's getting, you're really stretching it there on that one.
Before, no, seriously, she blonde hair. In fact, they couldn't look at who this is.
Pretty. Yeah, she was very
knockout.
Yeah.
Knockout. Speaking of Bill, I got to tell my Bill Anderson story. Bob and I our sophomore year, Bob, when we beat Arcola down there for the championship, I lined up against Bill Anderson. He was crazy. He was the Rick Beatty of Arcola as far as
Yes, he was.
He would get you on the ground and start punching you in the mouth. And I said, "What's the deal, bud? This is football." He said, "You're damn right, this is football." He was nuts.
Yeah, he was crazy.
I got to tell a funny story about him. He was telling about he was dating a girl. I won't mention her name, but he was dating a girl at the same time Pangburn was dating a girl, and So undoubtedly, he went over to see her one day and knocked on the door, and unbeknownst to him, Pangburn was already there, and she had him. She had Pangburn hiding in the closet. And so he said, you know, he later found out about it. He said, you know, that Pangborn, he's that great big son of a bitch. And he told this as an adult. This wasn't when he was the kid, you know.
Well, you know, I remember that I was hiding in the bathroom.
You probably were.
Poor Pangburn was probably the Don Juan of our class.
Yes, he was. Yes, he was.
Like girls, and he got in trouble with when he had that old car. He got in trouble with another Arcola guy. What's his name? Bill, help me out here. He's the father of Bill golf pro out here. Arcola played football, golf.
I know who you're talking about. Worked for the county.
I think so. Bill is who was out here when Jimmy Thompson was out here? He was out assistant pro with Jimmy. Played football.
I have no idea.
Was in the state finals in golf. Jack McNary.
Oh, Jack.
Okay,
yes.
yeah.
Now, so Jack McNary got crossways with Pang, and I think poured paint on his car down by Gus's or something. I think Pang angered a lot of guys from Newman and Arcola.
Well, Pangburn sure married a swell gal from Newman.
Gal, great gal.
Yeah, Linda's nice. A good girl.
Yeah, we include her in Mitch and Albert, and include her in all the class events, just like
she's on the mailing list with all our other classmates after Mike passed away, and
she was class of '66 from Newman.
Right.
You know,
I didn't know her until college. That's when Mike was in the service. She and I'd run around together a lot, just as good friends, and she used to party with us, and she could party with the best of them. I can tell you that.
Well, you know, I gotta give I called Jim Wright the other day, and I actually complimented him. I said, "This is going to be hard for me to do, Jim." But you get thinking about Jim. He called me up one day and said, "Let's go see Pangburn." It was a week before he died, and Jim drove all the way up to visit Mike and Linda. He also was up there with Bob and I to see Bobby Jones up in Chicago.
Yes. Yeah.
Before he died. Jim Wright has always been there, and he was the one helping us with Alan Hall, our middle guy with Hall.
Yes.
I hate to say this, but I'm going to do it. He's a heck of a nice guy.
Yeah.
He is a good guy.
Yeah.
I'm going to say it again, but I said it once.
But you know, he really has gotten involved with us as a high school class more in the last. Well, of course, we were all busy. We were all busy with our own families, our own businesses, our own world. And now that all of us are retired, he's really got more involved. I hear from him about Bob, and I hear from him about once a week, all the time.
I get hooked in. I got hooked in somehow, and you guys started out a bit, with Gail Reeder and Sharon stuff.
I'm sure you guys talking to the choir here that as you get older, these connections with our old friends become more and more important.
Yes, they do.
Absolutely,
Yes, they do.
David.
So we've got another class meeting on Monday. Tommy Peach is going to be in from San Diego, and so we'll have a get together for him, and then in October, Bill Fruit's going to be in town along with Eric Adams.
Well, Bill Fruit
will be in town next week as well.
Bill Fruit and Tommy Peach were your two quarterbacks back in '83.
Yeah, so it's always
Eric's coming back. Eric's coming back.
Eric will be here. He'll get in late on Monday and be here for about a week.
That's one of your best friends, isn't it?
He is my best friend, other than my wife.
I was getting ready. What about Ingo and Mitch and what the hell?
You guys are you guys are a close 27th and 28th, somewhere in that neighborhood.
Well, we shudder to think who's 24th and 23rd and 20th.
You're in the top 100.
What did Eric? What was his occupation end up being?
He started out with an engineering degree and worked for R.R. Donnelly, but then he went into the Peace Corps and ended up working for USAID. And
that was really when when his dad was still, contracting, and I would see his dad almost every day. Eric had gone to the Peace Corps, and then I lost track of whatever he did after that.
Now, he lived many years in Bangladesh.
Yeah,
Huh.
yeah,
Well, hats off.
yeah.
I don't even want to think of Bangladesh.
No,
But, we
No,
had-
me either.
I wanted to mention, we had Nate Esquerdo in town, and the real and Nate will watch the program, and he loves it when he gets mentioned. Uh, so I have to say, the real treat is he brings his wife Brenda, who's from Arthur, with him, and she is a doll. And so, but the funny thing is that, when I was talking to Nate, he mentioned anytime we've mentioned him on the show, he could tell me which show it was and what we were talking about. Because anytime somebody gets mentioned on our show, if they are not watching, someone they know is watching, and they'll send them a message and say, "Oh, you got to watch." They mention you, and so I don't know if we need to do more name dropping or less name dropping.
Well, that's probably a good idea. That could increase your membership here.
I don't know if this was Nate or not, but 20, 30 years ago up in Chicago, they had a big magazine on the top doctors of Chicago, and the top plastic surgeon, I think, was Nate. Was he a plastic surgeon?
Not be his brother.
Brother, okay. But he was quite famous in Chicago. What was his brother's name?
Rick, I think.
oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Was it Nate the Skate or Rick the Skate? They're both fast runners.
Greg, what was that kid's name that became an eye doctor?
Scuda.
Greg Scuda.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
became pretty famous
Yeah,
ophthalmologist.
President of the national organization, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was, yeah.
Yeah.
So we've had, we've talked about this before, but we've really had some pretty people that went on to do some pretty big time things.
Yep.
We're pretty small fish in the big pond, and to be able to do that is pretty amazing.
Great teachers and administrators back then.
Yeah.
And school board were top. School board was made up of real city leaders.
Yes, absolutely.
Our senior year wasn't it Gail Reeder's dad and Dr. Lossman and Dr.
Yes.
Boylan,
Yep.
Dr. Ragsdale, the chemist,
Well,
Ned Ferguson.
Willis Jolly.
and Mrs. Deaver.
Yeah.
Mrs. Deaver's on the board. Willis Jolly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Doc Boylston.
Yep.
Yeah.
These were
pretty class outfit.
deep Tuscola guys. And
Yeah, they were.
top notch.
Doc Boylston called me when my dad passed away back in '93. Doc Boylston called me I think he was from Kansas City at the time. He was living with his daughter, and he had to be 90 plus years old. And he brought me to tears because he said, "Alan, this is Dr. Boylston," and I hadn't heard of Dr. Boylston in 50 years probably. And he said, I just want you to know your dad was one of the finest men that I ever knew in my life. And I mean, it brought me to tears because I always thought a lot of him. I always thought he was quite a guy. And he went on to he became the head of the VA medical in Marion, Illinois when he left here. And then went on, I don't know what else he did after that, but he went on to do some pretty big time things.
Yeah.
Your dad, now you mentioned your dad, I've never heard a bad word about your dad in my life, and he always had a nice smile.
Yeah.
Now your mom had me up against the wall by the comment.
Well,
I wish you could say the same about your mom.
Their personalities were just a little bit different.
Yeah, she would take you on, buddy.
Yeah, she would. Yeah, she would.
Mike, you did that to mothers.
Yeah, I think maybe it was you, Mike. Maybe it wasn't these mothers after all.
Right.
I think maybe it was you.
Well, I'm sitting there thinking after about 30 girls broke up with me, I said, "What's the common denominator here? These girls are nuts." And somebody said, "It might be you."
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it takes a long time. But going back to Wright, you are correct. I hadn't heard in the last 5 to 10 years, Jim has really reached out to everybody. He's even got a thing going with Caldwell and I trying to draw us together. He reaches out to different people. He knows what you're interested in, and
Yes.
He sends me articles from John Cash, Chicago Tribunes. I think he actually read my book. He said, Carroll, he said, damn you. He said, I've got about 50 pages to go. I'm about ready to have a headache. He actually read the book. I said, well, there'll be a quiz at the reunion this year, We'll see if you
Yeah.
understood it. Yeah, it is.
Is Ronnie McQueen coming back?
No,
No.
his class reunion over there is the same day.
Now,
Seriously.
he was
Yeah.
close. He reached out to you a lot, didn't he? He was.
Yeah, we haven't talked too much in the last year. Not sure well, a lot of it has to do with me, being preoccupied with family and all.
Okay.
But yeah, we went a long time and didn't talk to each other, didn't see each other for a long time.
I'd forgotten him. I do remember him back in high school playing guitar in some kind of band. I do remember.
He's good. He's good.
He was a
Yeah,
rock.
we met with him. We had lunch with him a long time ago.
Yeah.
And he still had a band together at that time. And I mean, we were over 60.
Well, he came to that reunion. I enjoyed talking
Yes.
to
Yeah.
him.
Yeah, nice guy. The guy I lost track of is Buddy Whalen. Is he still shrimping down in Louisiana? What's he?
Well, as far as I know, he came back for that 50th reunion, and but he wasn't quite the same Buddy that I remembered from those days.
That was my impression too. His life he'd been rode hard and put away wet.
Yeah, I think
Yes.
he had a bar down there, and I don't know, somebody else. Oh, Pangburn. It was Pangburn and some other guys met up with him in New Orleans at his bar. They'd ridden motorcycles down there. I don't remember who all it was. I know Mike was involved, and they ran into Buddy several years ago. And but he did come back for that 50th reunion, but I haven't heard from him I don't think anybody's heard from him since then.
Yeah, I talked to him for about 2 minutes, then I wound up saying, "Well, that's enough."
Yeah.
I can usually talk for 20 minutes, but yeah, he had changed. A lot of them had changed, but it's great. It's great when they don't change. It's great when same old good guy or good gal.
His mom and sister, I think, lived in.
Yeah.
They had those houses down there where they have it was almost like a duplex, but they were 2-story, side by side. If you've ever seen pictures of some of the houses in the New Orleans area, anyway, his mom and sister lived on one side, and he lived in the other side. I remember him talking about that.
His sis was Ann, lived down by you.
That's right.
Hell of an athlete. She was really a tomboy, cute, but
yeah, she was cute. She was cute. Well, Mom was good looking. Mom was a pretty woman.
Well, so was Charlie.
Yeah. Old shark Charlie. Yeah.
Skinner had visited with him down there.
Pardon?
Skinner did.
Skinner had visited with them and been with them, been to Buddy's bar and everything.
Yeah.
Well, get out and enjoy this weather today.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah, there's a cardinal out there on our bird feeder.
I had to put on long sleeves.
Yeah. Taylor had on shorts when we went to exercise this morning. Then he wimped out and changed, he said.
Sure did.
I'd love to see those legs, Bob.
Yeah.
Oh, they are wonderful.
Yeah. Chicken legs. Get those chicken legs.
I look like I got 2 popsicle sticks now sticking out of something.
Yeah. That's Gordon Adams used to come in the lumberyard. I'd be having shorts on. He'd say, "Are you riding a chicken?"
Boy, we've had some great people pass away, haven't we?
Yes, we have. We've lost a lot of them, but we still got a lot of good ones around. The good ones are still going.
Yeah, some of you guys, they keep giving us heart bypasses. We just keep on going.
Yeah,
That's right.
Yeah.
Modern medicine. If you live longer, you'll live longer.
That's true. That's true.
Words of wisdom. All right. Anything else?
Yeah, I think that's all I know of.
All right. Well, we'll see you next week on Remembering Tuscola.
Okay.